right, 25 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Nice looking Tuesday out there. It's time to talk about our eyeballs. Ocala Eye is here. Nikki next is here. She's the patient services coordinator. Is it Shannon? Shannon Rains, right? Good morning, ladies. If I have your microphone turned on, I should be able to hear you.
Good morning.
There you go. And yeah, before we say anything, I got something to tell you.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So last week, Zora was talking about communicating. Mm-hmm. And then I was telling you all about an ad that is running on Fox that I don't like, that I play a hound dog last week.
Oh, that's right. Baloney.
Baloney.
Yes.
And she thought, I listened to the tape later on, she thought that I was saying that what she was saying was baloney about speaking positively to yourself. Remember that was part of it?
I don't think she thought that.
Oh, okay, good. Because what I was saying was that if we play the baloney soundtrack when we have negative thoughts, that's the baloney I wanted to be alerted to. So
he's been feeling bad about it all.
I have. I listened to it and I said, I said to Robin, I think they thought I was saying that what she was saying was baloney, and I wasn't. I was saying the exact opposite. That if I have negative thoughts in the morning, that oh my gosh, I'm not good enough and whatever. That's when I should have the baloney dog yelling at me.
Gotcha. I don't think she thought that. She didn't say anything else.
All right. Well, if anybody thought that, I apologize.
Well, I don't think they did.
So how you ladies doing? Shannon, haven't seen you in a while.
I know. It's been a while.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
You got beautiful teeth.
Thank you.
Yes, she does.
Wow.
I love coming here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't compliment you on your teeth? I mean,
not everybody.
I love the way you talk, too.
Well, thank you.
Where are you from?
Alabama.
Oh, that's right. I think I asked you that once before, didn't I? Mm-hmm. Nikki, where are you from? Let me think.
I was born right here in Monroe.
So maybe that's it. It's so close. It's hard to hear.
I was born right at Monroe.
My son too. My son born in Monroe too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If I tell you when, then I'm going to really seem old. You already know how old I am. I'm old enough to need new glasses, right?
Yes, you are old enough to need new glasses. A good pair of glasses, not just new ones.
So for the audience, I was telling Nikki and Shannon about a movie Robin and I watched where there's an image of Jesus on the stucco of a house, and everybody thinks it's a miracle, and it is miraculous. When people touch it, they get healed. So anyway, this girl at the grocery store has really thick glasses. She touches it, and next thing you know, she can see clearly. And I said to Robin, that's going to be me when I get my new glasses.
It is going to be you. You're going to see things you've never seen with clarity you've never seen.
Do you know what else I'm looking forward to, though? Do eyeglasses automatically come with like a sunglass attachment? Or no, you have to order them, right?
Some frames that might be part of the frame, but not every frame is going to have that as a.
I think that's what I'm going to do, though.
You're going to get a cool pair of those,
so I can look cool.
So you can do this.
Just flip them down, flip it up, flip it down, flip it up, flip it down.
I know. I should just say yes, right? But the real reason is because this is serious. When I drive, right, and there's like a sun reflecting off the back window of the car in front of me, it's like I'm looking right at the sun.
I know, it is bad here.
It's horrible.
It's really bad here.
What? Only here?
Well, I just think
Wouldn't the sun be all over the planet?
It is, but the Florida heat is like no other, I swear.
Oh, the heat, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But you grew up here. You should be okay with it.
Oh, I'm okay with it. I don't do well in cold weather. I'd much rather sweat and be hot.
So you were born in Monroe and you went to school in Williston.
I went to school here until my junior year of high school, and that's when we moved to Williston. So I did my junior and senior year at Williston.
Was it a culture shock moving from Ocala to Williston?
A little bit. There was only 91 people in my graduating class.
Oh, really?
It was a pretty small town.
Shannon, I know Williston really well. I used to go there.
I loved it there. I mean, it was awesome.
It is. It's Mayberry.
I loved it there.
Just need a little redheaded kid that whistles.
That's right.
And goes down and go fishing.
That's right.
Shannon, did you go to school in Williston?
I did not.
You did not? Where'd you go to school?
In Alabama.
Oh, that's of course.
I've only been here for a year and 3 months.
Mm-hmm. Are there a lot of banjos in Alabama? Because that song, I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. I always think, what has it got, a lot of banjos up there?
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of banjos.
Have you ever heard of a condition where you see colors when you hear sounds? Right? Isn't that how it was?
Yeah.
See colors when you hear sounds.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it, but it's a condition. When people hear sounds, they see different colors in their head. They don't really hear the sounds as we hear the sounds. They see it in colors.
Really?
Yeah, I
Maybe a
forget what the
psychic
name of
ability.
it is.
I don't know. I mean, I know there's things like Charles Bonnet syndrome, which is actually patients start losing their vision, but people think they're hallucinating,
Really?
and they some sort are, but their mind is playing back memories of things that they've already seen.
And it's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
Synesthesia, that's what it's called. When you see colors
It's good for you.
and hear sounds.
Listen to Robin.
These are new ones on me.
Synesthesia.
learning
Synesthesia.
something.
I,
Yeah, I had to
I have not
grab
heard
that.
that before.
We've had at least 2 guests
Synesthesia.
that both had this, and I said to Robin, "How would we know if they're lying? I wouldn't know. I could say I had it. You wouldn't know. Every time you say,
Synesthesia.
yeah, is it SYN?
I think so.
Just looking it up. Yeah, yeah. We've had at least 2 guests, and they use it for like to improve their lives. They can see colors, and does it work the other way around too? When they see colors, do they hear sounds?
Yes. Yep. I think that's what they said.
I wonder what they see when they
Yeah,
hear
it
the
was
song
very
"Bluer Than Blue."
interesting.
You know the song "Bluer Than Blue"? Where's your $5 today? I thought you had $5. Didn't you have $5?
Yes, he held up $5 last week.
Yeah, that's your 900. Yeah. So we got a fan club outside.
Yeah.
When people come in and you diagnose them as colorblind, are they surprised that they have color blindness if they've grown up with the way they see?
I think most of them are probably somewhat aware that they
Yeah.
don't see colors like they should. Most people are actually color deficient,
What is that?
not necessarily colorblind, just meaning that there are certain colors of the spectrum that they don't see. Reds and greens are usually the 2 most prominent ones for people, but I think they sort of have an idea that they're not seeing, because
Yeah,
they've
they
spoken to
know.
someone and
Yeah.
they're like, oh, that's what color? Because I see this color kind of thing. Like they've kind of compared notes per se with somebody and they're not seeing the same thing that their friends or family seeing. So I think they have an idea that they're not seeing.
Can you
well.
help that? Is that correctable?
It's not correctable.
Oh, okay.
It's not correctable.
Did you find
It is, yes, and it says it's the production of a sense impression relating to one sense or a part of the body by stimulation of another sense.
Oh,
part of the body.
really? So it's not just sight and sound. It could be.
Could be probably taste and
Imagine that.
I don't know. Yeah,
You hear a sound and you taste like
it
lemonade.
says it's a perceptual phenomenon in which stimulation of one sensory or cognitive pathway leads to automatic and voluntary experiences in a second sensory or cognitive pathway. So,
Wow. So you could like look at a cloud and feel warm.
I've never, I don't know that I've come across a patient who's ever explained anything like that before.
Never heard of it.
What you have a room at Ocala Eye where you calm us down. What is that room called
The
again?
Zen room.
See, that's what I would use, the Zen room. Am I going to use that
Some
for my
pretty
eyeglasses?
Fancy, no.
Can I? Just for a little bit?
It's over at the surgery center. So some pretty
I know. I went
nice
there with Alex, my son.
gestures,
Yeah. So, so what's new? Anything new in the world of eye care?
I don't know that anything's new right now. We just had the mayor's spring cleanup day this weekend that some staff went and helped.
Oh, is that right?
I think in Brick City Park, and there was a second station they went to help for the mayor's spring cleanup.
Have you opened up your new office yet?
We have not.
Chat.
We're hoping. It's sounding like the end of July, beginning of August is
Oh
when
my
Brick will
gosh.
be open. So
We were talking about nurses yesterday because Nurse Appreciation Week is coming up, I think, in a week and a half or so. Do nurses play a role in eye care? Do the eye doctors have eye nurses?
yes, that's.
Are either
we
of you
have
nurses? Another-
Staff, no.
No.
Our staff at our surgery center, a majority of our staff there is nurses. We
And-
have some full-time and some that
Is
just
that
work
right?
part-time.
And what would an eye nurse do? What kind of work?
Well, they're basically pre-opping the patient, so they're working them up, going over some of their instructions with them, reviewing their medical history with them, getting them.
They're
hooked
the
up,
people
getting
who
their
can
IV started,
explain
getting
everything.
Getting
Yeah,
their,
yeah.
leads hooked on for their heart monitor, and they transport them there's basically at our facility, there's pre-op nurses, there's OR nurses, and there's post-op nurses. So if somebody's transporting the patient from
Okay.
pre-op to the surgery center, or the surgery room, they stay back there with them for that, and they bring them out to the post-op nurse. The post-op nurse gets them out of the bed, goes over their discharge instructions with them, gives them their little drink and snack, and then gets them out to whoever's taking them home. And
Do we get to request what music we hear in the Zen room?
I don't know if there's a radio station in there or if it's
Oh, a
just
radio. Oh, I thought it'd be like
the TV
Oh, TV.
like plays
That wouldn't zen me out
like
at all.
underwater stuff and
I see
those
visuals.
kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When a person comes in to have any kind of surgery, and after that surgery happens, do they have to follow different nutrition areas when they're eating
No,
for
not
the recovery?
I think for
no, not
surgery,
usually.
there's not like a
they can,
nutrition criteria.
after they're done with surgery, they can pretty much eat and drink like they want to. I mean, as long as they're, using their eye drops like they're supposed to. There's no, now they do have to be nothing to eat or drink, 8 hours prior to surgery. So
Oh,
most
okay.
of them aren't having anything other than enough to get their medications down that morning that they can take.
So I'm going to come in to get my eyeglasses. What kind of things will I go through? You'll test me for glaucoma and things like that?
So they'll bring you back and they'll sit you at a little machine and do automated readings, and it'll give us some measurements of your
readings?
corneal surface and kind of an automated what your glasses prescription should be, and then they'll take you to an exam room.
Is that right? Without me saying I can read the E and all that?
Yeah,
Oh,
it takes
wow.
measurements. It basically has to do with the curvature of your eye and the length of your eye and that kind of fun stuff.
Now they'll do all of that too. You don't get away from all of that.
Oh, you still have to read the
you're
big
going to go
E?
across the room and they'll check your vision, your distance vision and your near vision, and they'll check your muscles and your visual fields, confrontation visual fields.
And that's all a question asking me? But here's the reason I'm asking it, because that big thing they stick in front of your face. Which
phoropter.
looks better, this
Phoropter.
or this? Right? You still do that?
Yep.
Okay, because sometimes I'm not sure.
If you're not sure or if they look the same, that's an okay answer also. They don't necessarily have to be different.
Oh, okay,
Sometimes
okay.
they're only showing you like a quarter difference between two different numbers, which is a pretty small
Because you know
increment.
what I'm hoping? I'm hoping the eyeglasses help me with everything, close up and distance.
They will.
That's the goal.
Yeah?
They will. Because right now you need plus for distance and you also need plus for up close. So the amount of magnification that you need for up close, you can't usually get high enough in reading glasses. They don't come that high.
I see. And is that what you call progressive lenses or bifocals
Well,
or
progressive
something?
lens is a type of lens. It just means it's
okay.
got your distance and your near in it, but it doesn't have a line on it. So when you look at the
Oh,
lens,
okay,
you
okay.
can't tell that it's
But if you
bifocal lens.
have the line, it's cheaper?
If you have the line,
More
it's cheaper.
affordable?
Yes, it is
Yeah.
more affordable to have just a bifocal. Yes. Some people choose to go progressives because it's a gradual change, so they get some intermediate vision as well, versus it just being a sudden change.
So you
from
have to get
distance
used to it? Like, do you have to know where to look in the lens? Like, do you have to
You
move
do
your head
have
up
to
and
get
down?
used to
Yeah.
wearing them.
Yeah. I mean, and they say, you look you point your nose where you want to see.
Yes.
So how does this work with contacts? Your eye moves with the contact, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. So there's no such thing as progressive contacts?
No,
Oh, okay.
bifocal contacts, but there's no progressive. contacts.
Bifocal.
How does that work? A bifocal
I really
contact.
I really don't know either because I've never ever even tried one on. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know visually what the experience is like for the patient with that on.
The technology's there for that. I mean, and we do offer that, but I don't know how it works. I mean,
Yeah.
But it does work. People come
Yeah.
back and have good
People wear 'em.
results. Wow.
And it would be better then if you're a contact lens wearer just to have that for the distance that you need and then get the separate reading glasses.
Yeah,
People do that
some,
too.
Yeah, some people would prefer to have both eyes, see well for distance. They don't want that line on
And
the
just throw
contacts, and they
readers
just throw
on.
little readers on when they have to see up close.
So I'm going to ask you, this is all personal questions. If anybody has a question about your own self, go ahead and call. The number is 622-9622, and we'll give you the number for Ocala Eye a few times before we wrap it up. But right now, if you want to call, you can get some answers right now. Nikki and Shannon are here from Ocala Eye, 622-9622. So the other day, this airplane is in Ocala, this tri-motor. See this?
Okay.
Isn't it cool?
It is really
It was
cool.
one of the first passenger planes ever and it was in Ocala. So anyway, so they were in here. The guys were in here, and I said, "Are you going to fly over the mall?" He said, "Well, we can." And I think I was just, asking, but they actually did. And I was out in the parking lot with Robin, and I looked up. Now, what this has to do with what you do is this. I saw 2 of them. I actually had a double vision. Uh-oh, that looks like a bad face. Does that mean I got a stigma or something? Is that what that means? I don't ever see double vision with anything, but I did. Something did. And then I tried it at night with a star. And I sure enough saw 2 stars. Every star I looked at, there was 2 of them.
It has to do with, obviously, how you're angling your eyes to see that up.
It wasn't like 2 that were far apart. It was like 2
completely, maybe,
that were together. So I knew that it was really only one, but...
Yeah, it's kind of a ghost image of the other one.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah. So obviously in that gaze, and whatever gaze it is, whether it's just your up gaze or your up left gaze or up right gaze, your muscles aren't completely cohesive.
What's
or they're not
happening? I used to see
together.
so well.
Well, I mean, those
older.
Those
Don't say that.
birthdays, unfortunately, man, they cause some problems.
You don't realize you're older, though? Well, maybe for men. I don't know. I just don't think I'm older.
So that doesn't mean that he has floaters then? If
No,
it's something
floaters
like that,
is
they're
something
different.
It's in a different part of the eye.
Do those go away, the floaters? So you just deal with them?
You do.
They
And
just
then they
kind of
disappear.
drift down. Gravity takes care of those most of the time, and they just drift down out of the line of vision.
Kind of like a snow globe, if you think about a snow globe. So when they're
I
stirred up,
love
they're
snow
kind of
globes.
floating around
Don't you love snow
inside
globes?
the vitreous part of your eye. And then as they kind of settle down, like
You
Shannon
do.
said, to the bottom, you don't
Shannon
see
does.
them because they're not in your visual axis anymore.
So will both of you be able to assist the doctor when the patients go in for their eye exams, or are you separate from that?
No, I mean, we both can. Shannon did it for a while. I did it for many years. We don't have that type of patient contact as often now. But most of our stuff is done via telephone.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah.
How long will it take?
You'll probably be there about an hour and a half.
Oh, okay.
And for your equipment then, do people come in from the outside to check on your equipment to make sure it's right and then tell you need
Our
to upgrade?
facilities people actually calibrate our machines, and then if anything is not within range of calibration, then that's when we bring in a technician from the company to kind of come look at it and see if it needs help.
Oh, okay. But then if there's a new piece of equipment to replace
the rep
whatever
will
you
normally
have.
come in and do an in-service for everybody, and just like with the new Epic machines that we're getting now, it's actually a 2-day training, and they've been training 8 staff members at a time, so they actually go to Jacksonville and stay there for 2 full days,
Wow.
do 8 hours of training both days, and then come back.
And what do
So,
those machines do? the Epic
Those are,
machine?
they're kind of a collaboration of quite a few different things. So they're supposed to eliminate some human or user error in doing the refractions. You do your refractions
Just the phoropter thing.
Yeah.
that you were
Oh.
talking
through
about.
that.
Okay.
Some of the other tests that we do for brightness, acuity, and things like that, they're built into that machine as well. So it's just a newer technology, a change in how we do things
And do
to
you-
help the flow of clinic and
And
the
you had
process.
said earlier that you don't do the puff thing anymore.
We don't do them
in the eye.
I don't think we've ever done it at our office. I know some optometry practices still use them, but we've never done the puff of air at Ocala Eye.
Oh, okay, so whatever you do, that's the same thing.
Yes.
as
Oh,
when
yes.
they
Ours
do the
is
puff.
actually applanation tonometry, so it actually
Oh.
touches the eye. So it's the most accurate way you can check someone's pressure.
Oh, my.
So you don't feel it though. I mean, your eye's numb. You don't feel it.
Did I ever tell you that I have a brother who lives in Washington? Where does he live? Oregon. He lives in
Oregon.
Oregon. He's a veterinarian, by the way. He told me he had a freckle on his retina. And he was worried about it. And then a couple of years later, I asked him, whatever happened with that? He said, nothing. So what is a freckle on your retina? What is that?
It's just a freckle. It's just that. It's a nevus. And a lot of times they just monitor it for change.
I'll take a picture of it.
Because it could
each
be
year.
something.
It could turn
Yeah.
into something no different than your freckles on your skin can. So
I had freckles all over me when I was younger.
Most-
I wonder if I have any back there.
You might if you haven't seen an eye doctor
You'll
in a
tell me.
while. The eye doctor will tell you.
Yeah.
Do you guys accept the shadowing program from the seniors in high school when they want to go into a certain profession? Sometimes different jobs will open up their offices and allow them to shadow for a couple weeks.
I don't know if you do for the high school.
We have had a couple come from the high schools that were interested in ophthalmology that have come and shadowed a couple of the physicians. We actually just had a UF medical student
Yeah, I was
interested
going
in
to say,
ophthalmology.
I know we do for college students, but I didn't know.
Yeah,
if
we've
we
had
did
a
for high school.
couple students from Trinity Catholic, and I
Okay.
think maybe from Vanguard. They came and shadowed, I think, Dr. Morris and Dr. Pollock at some point. So yes, they do allow that. And I know we've put on a wet lab a few times at the surgery center for some students where we got cadaver eyes with cow eyeballs and
Oh.
basically let them,
Ooh.
mess with them.
Cows,
And
not
them
humans?
and No, not humans, cow eyes. Part of it's because they're so much bigger and they can see them easier. They're a little bit easier to.
Do you know, I always
interesting.
I always thought
love
that
that.
when I die, I want to tell whoever, like Robin, please tell the people, don't tell them I was a radio guy, tell them I was a magician, and tell them I want to donate my body to science, and tell them they want, when you're at the university, call it an abracadaver, okay? Because I was a
Oh,
magician.
my stars.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
So wouldn't that be cool?
That'd
Like,
be pretty cool.
first of all, I'd be the biggest cadaver they ever had.
They'll sell tickets.
Right? They'll say, holy cow, look at this guy. This isn't just a guy, this is an abracadaver.
They'll put you on tour.
This
You
is-
might end up in that. Gosh, what was that thing that I went and saw when we were in Vegas, where it was like
in Vegas.
they've done it in Tampa too. It was this.
Oh, I know what you're
display of the
talking
human
about.
Body where it had
Yes.
that was crazy.
That is awesome.
It
Not
was-
awesome. It's awful. There's two
It
R's.
was
Yeah.
crazy. It was absolutely.
How come if
crazy.
there's some awe, it's good? But if it's full of awe, it's bad.
I don't know.
It's awesome and awful.
I don't know.
I think that was awful, wasn't it?
It was interesting for sure.
And they were like naked, right?
Oh yeah.
Showed everything.
Yes, it did.
These people are not embarrassed by anything.
Tendons and ligaments and
That's not the part I'm talking about.
eyes and well, I tried to stay away from there.
Yeah.
But it was crazy.
But that'll be me, the abracadabra.
Right, they'll have you on display like that.
By the way, Robin was asking about like what do you call them when they don't get paid for a job?
Interns.
Did you hear about the internship at the Milwaukee Harley Davidson place?
No.
If you're an intern there, they give you a free motorcycle.
At the end of your 12 weeks.
Yeah.
And then you have to promise to go on a road trip with the motorcycle and be creative doing your photography and videos.
Wow.
And you get to keep a motorcycle.
Wow.
I want to sign up for that.
Robin is a motorcycle chick.
That'll be fun.
Did you know that?
That'll be
Oh.
fun.
That would be pretty awesome though.
So when you do
I had a
have-
Schwinn.
when you do have these students that come to your practice that have graduated from school and now they have the title of doctor, do they still have to go for another year in an established practice, or can they open up their own?
Well, I mean, when we've hired them out of their residency, I mean, they came on. It takes us a little while to get them,
Acclimated?
well, just set up with insurances and.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think they have to go into a group practice. I think they can go into private practice of their own if they want to, but I think it's just easier for a doctor to get into a group establishment, if that's what you're asking.
Yes,
Yeah, I think
yes.
it's just easier for them
think
to
it
do
is,
that,
too.
just to get established.
Oh, so then you have to do, I didn't think about setting up the insurance.
Yeah, they have to get credentialed with, each insurance individually. I mean, so that sometimes can take.
So
a
how
little
much
bit of a
before I need to go? Should I call you and tell you I'm coming?
We usually have appointments sometimes same week
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll call you.
for new patients for sure.
I think May 4th is when I'm getting my refund.
Oh, okay.
I'm paying for my eyeglasses with my refund from IRS.
Let them give you something. It'll be a good sight.
I'll be able to read my forms better.
That's right.
Shannon Rains, good to see you again.
Well, thank Thank you. It's good to see you.
Thank you for coming in. You guys make the show fun and informative at the same time. And Nikki, next, thank you for coming in.
you.
And you waved at us through the window. Hey, that guy thinks we're waving at him. Hey, thank you, ladies. Thank you both. What's the phone number over at Ocala Eye?
It's 352-622-5183, or they can go to ocalaeye.com.
Very good. We'll be right back.
Here is your 1-minute news brief from the source WOCA. Funeral services and memorial ceremonies are being held today for the 2 deputies shot and killed last Thursday while they had lunch at a Chinese restaurant in Trenton. Public elementary schools in Marion County now have school resource officers, and high schools will now have 2 school resource officers. The Marion County Commission will vote to move $2.1